Defense Minister Adam Iko assures federal government's commitment to tackle insecurity. Jigawa State government constructs over 1,000 kilometers embankment to tackle flooding. Kenyan and Tanzanian president banter over Swahili language skills. Good evening, listeners. Today is Friday, 22nd Safar 1445 after Hijrah Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is equivalent to 8 September 2023. I am Ummusalma Adam Iko with the news. The number of electricity consumers rose by 200,000 from 11.27 million in the first quarter of 2023 to 11,047,000 in the second quarter of the year. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBA) stated this in its Nigeria's electricity report for the second quarter of the 2023 released in Abuja. The report focuses on energy billed, revenue generated, and customers of electricity distribution companies during the period under review. It stated that on a year-on-year basis, the number of electricity customers increased by 6.17% in the second quarter of 2023 from the 10.81 million reported in the corresponding period in 2022. It added that the second quarter of the 2023, the number of metered customers stood at 5.47 million from 5.31 million recorded in the first quarter of the year, a 3.10% increase. Minister of Defense Muhammad Badaru Abubakar has reassured the nation of the federal government's determination to contest security challenges afflicting the country. He said as defense minister, he was committed to tackling the security challenges in the country. The minister stated this when he received a delegation from Jigawa State led by Governor Umar Namadi, who paid him a courtesy visit in his office at the Ship House in Abuja. In his remarks, the Governor Namadi said the purpose of the visit was to honor, pray, and congratulate the illustrious son who was appointed as the Minister of Defense by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Among the dignitaries were the Honorable Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Haruna Engatan, Deputy Speaker Honorable Sanda Abubakar, Secretary to the Jigawa State Government Alhaji Bala Mamsa, Chief of the Staff to the Governor of Jigawa State, Senator Mustapha Kyawa. Others include the Emir of Hadija and Chairman Jigawa State Council of Chiefs, His Royal Highness Alhaji Adamu Maji, Commissioners of Jigawa State Government, members of Jigawa State House of Assembly, among others. The Jigawa State Police Command has arrested 2 suspected vandals on one drug baron. The command's public relations officer, DSP Lawan Shiso Adam, who taught journalists in Tuesday, said the detectives attached to Kazaura Divisional Police Headquarters arrested the suspect with a Dix insulator and aluminium waste inside a sack. Shisu said on interrogation, the suspect admitted that they vandalized an electricity distribution company, Kedco Properties, along Giwa to Kazaure Highway. He said when acting manager Kazaure Technical Service Point was contacted, he confirmed that about 2 weeks ago, hoodlums invaded the Kedco electricity line at the old NYSC Skills Acquisition Center along Giwa to Kazaure Highway and vandalized their properties worth thousands of naira. In another incident, he said policemen attached to Guri Divisional Police Headquarters raided a criminal hideout in Bakin Kaswa, Guri local government area, and arrested Washu Aibu Musa of Bakin Kaswa quarters in Guri with 49 D5 tablets, 14 tramadol capsules, and 12 wraps of dry leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, has given the Nigerian Immigration Service 2 weeks to clear the over 200,000 pending passport applications before it. The minister gave the order during a meeting with the Acting Controller General of NIS, Caroline Adepoju yesterday in Abuja. The minister said that the order was in fulfillment of his promise to remove all bottlenecks in the acquisition of Nigerian passport and other immigration documents. Mr. Tunji Oji said that he received update on passport enrollment on a daily basis. In their remarks, Controller General of Nigerian Immigration Service assured the minister that all necessary resources and measures will be deployed to clear the backlog of passport applications. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, has said that the administration of President Bola Tinubu will address the pressing challenges in the Nigerian health sector. Muhammad Pate stated this yesterday at the opening of the 13th Scientific Conference of Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria (MDCAN) in Kano. The minister, represented by Chief Medical Director Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Professor Abdulrahman Shishi, admitted that there are numerous challenges bedeviling the country's health sector. The minister said the federal government was ready to work with medical associations in a bid to achieve the aim of improving the health sector. In his remarks earlier, the president of the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, Dr. Victor Makanjuala, lamented the exodus of medical consultants out of the country in search for greener pastures. The Kano State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Yusuf Labaran, commended the MDCAN for the choice of the theme and Kano for this year's program. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, said that Nigeria lost 16.25 trillion naira to crude oil theft between 2009 and 2020. The speaker said these while inaugurating the ad hoc committee to investigate crude oil theft and loss of revenue in Abuja. He said the menace of crude oil theft had hampered the growth of the country's oil production, with between 5 and 30% of crude oil production lost daily. Tajuddin Abbas said that critical agencies in the oil and gas sector, like the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, among others, failed to honor invitation. The speaker said if decisive action was not taken to address the issue, the country may be thrown into a deeper fiscal crisis. Abbas said Nigeria's oil production declined from 2.51 million barrels per day in 2005 to 1.77 million barrels per day in 2022. He added that Nigeria had continually failed to meet a daily production quota, as said by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. According to him, recently Nigeria's OPEC quota was reduced from 1.742 million barrels per day to 1.38 million barrels per day. The news is coming to you from Studio of Saba Radio. More of the news after the short break. Please do stay.
This is News on the Hour, Saba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
This is News at 7 coming to you from the Department of News from Saba Radio 104.9 Hadija. You can also watch us live on our Facebook page, Saba FM 104.9 Hadija, and all our social media for more of the news update. The Jigawa State government has constructed over 100-kilometer embankment around flood-prone communities to avert any disaster. Governor Umar Namadi revealed this during a media chat on his 100 days in office and the journey so far. The governor said since he assumed office on May 29, 2023, his administration had been reviewing and repositioning the state ministries, agencies and departments, projects and programs to build on the legacy of his predecessor. Namadi said his 12-point agenda was designed to fulfill all the campaign promises as well as make Jigawa prosperous and great in social and economic spheres. He said the part sheet of the agenda, he selected and appointed over 70 special advisors, competent managing directors, and commissioners to write his policies. The governor revealed that in the last 100 days, he had empowered over 4,000 youth and women with a minimum grant of 50,000 naira, while 7 skills acquisition centers are under renovation and equipping to ensure job creation, poverty eradication, and macroeconomic development. The Jigawa branch of Jama'at Nasrul Islam, an umbrella group for the Nigerian Muslim community, has planted 10,000 assorted tree seedlings in Jigawa to fight desertification. The GNI secretary in the state, Alhaji Muhammad Babangida, made this known during an interview in Dutse today. He said all the 550 units of the association in the 27 local government areas of the state planted the seedlings in strategic points in their respective communities. The secretary added that the seedlings were also distributed to farmers and other interested individuals to plant them in schools, hospitals, mosques, graveyards, and along major roads. Babangida, who described tree planting as vital for the environment, urged residents to avoid indiscriminate felling of trees, especially those by the roadside. He pointed the gesture was part of the association's moves to complement government effort in combating desertification. Some residents in Bauchi, Dutse, and Gombe have applauded their respective governors for displaying strong political acumen to fast-track sustainable social and economic development of the state. Residents spoke in separate interviews in Bauchi, Dutse, and Gombe, while reacting to the 100 days in office of the governors who were inaugurated on May 29, 2023. Governor Inwayahya of Gombe and his counterpart of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad, are in office for the second term, while Umar Namadi of Jigawa State is serving his first tenure in office. A cross-section of residents in Gombe described Yahaya's first 100 days in office as good start for continuity. They said that Yahaya's first 100 days witnessed continuation of project initiated in his first tenure. Kabiru Baba, a resident of Harogana community in Gombe local government area, expressed delight over continuation of the project initiated during Yahaya's first tenure in office. The Bauchi State House of Assembly has rejected the nomination of Mr. Isyaku Yankari as the State Auditor General on the ground that the executive breached the criteria for his appointment. Speaker of the House, Honorable Abubakar Suleiman, disclosed this during the plenary today, shortly after the report of the House Committee on Public Account in respect of the screening of the nominee was presented by the committee chairman, Honorable Mubarak Haruna. Jama'are constituency. Last week, the state governor Bala Muhammad forwarded Yakari's name to the House as a nominee for the Auditor General of Bauchi State. The chairman of the committee explained that after extensive deliberations, it invited the Civil Service Commission, being one of the major stakeholders in the appointment of the Auditor General, for a meeting. He said since the Bauchi State Public Sector Audit and Other Related Matters Law 2021 entails the processes and procedures of appointing Auditor General, the committee members were furnished with a copy of STEM to study the relevant sections. According to the report, stakeholders were contacted to express their understanding regarding the matter under reference, and the Civil Service Commission was requested to provide relevant document of 3 recommended candidates submitted to His Excellency. Yobe House of Assembly has commenced public hearings on 2 bills to establish the Yobe Hisba Commission and related matters in the Information Technology Development Agency. The Speaker of the Assembly, Churumo Buba, disclosed this while declaring the public hearing open yesterday in Damaturu. He said both bills had undergone first and second readings and were committed to appropriate committees of the House for in-depth legislative scrutiny. Mr. Buba commended the executive arm of the government for coming up with the 2 important bills. Earlier, the Chairman House Committee on Justice, Yakubu Suleiman, the Judiciary and Religious Affairs, urged all participants to contribute instantly in order to make positive impact on the provisions of the bills. Now to international scene. Humanitarian agencies in South Sudan have been forced to reduce amid a funding crisis and aggravated humanitarian situation. A total of 7.76 million people face catastrophic levels of need, but resourcing shortfalls means emergency food assistance will now be prioritized for 3.2 million people who face the highest levels of food insecurity. This means only those on the brink of starvation will be helped, and even their rations have been cut. The simple fact is that there are not enough resources available to the humanitarian community to meet the need in South Sudan, said Makana Waka, acting country director for the UN's World Food Programme. Kenyans and Tanzanians on social media have engaged in a playful spat over their president's remarks on whose citizens are better at speaking Swahili. Swahili is the primary language spoken across the two East African nations, but Kenyans have often been teased for their perceived inability in standard Swahili, while Tanzanians are similarly mocked for their English skills. At a recent agriculture and food summit in Tanzania, President Samia Hassan Suluhu chided her Kenyan counterpart William Ruto for not using proper greetings in Swahili. The exchange highlighted the amicable relationship and shared culture between the neighboring countries. And we wrap up the news with this and a recap of the major stories. From the news, Defense Minister Badr Abubakar reassures federal government commitment to tackle insecurity. Jigawa State government construct over 100 kilometers embankment to tackle flooding. Kenyan and Tanzanian president banter over Swahili language skills. On behalf of the news department and the news editor Muhammad Salima Yobe, I am Ummusalma Adam Iko. Have a great night.